of these old days, one of these old days, and we won't stop.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Transitions from War. We got a fun episode for you guys today. But before that, before we get into the main event, the interview, the fun stuff, I want to talk to you about a couple sponsors that make this show happen. And I don't know about you guys, but when I hear the sponsor part, I usually just fast forward until they get to the show. So for those of you guys still listening, congratulations, because this is badass. First sponsor we're going to talk about today is Tattered Beans. What is Tattered Beans? It's coffee. Not only just coffee, it's great coffee. It's founded by Air Force veteran Jason Jean. He gives us a win-win situation, getting great coffee and tangibly supporting veterans and first responders. So how does this work? Every bag of coffee you buy puts money directly into the pockets of those who serve with no middleman. So when you buy it through me, all that money will instead go to my fundraising campaign for the Ironman Foundation's Gold Star Initiative. Check out the links in the show notes for what that means if you haven't heard yet. Anyways, Tattered Beans is good. I had about 4 or 5 of the fourth quarter strong espressos this morning. Long time ago. Good stuff. So I was breathing fire. Loving it. Started workout strong today. Anyways, Tattered Beans comes out of Pennsylvania, birthplace of the Marine Corps, where the first American flag was stitched, where the Declaration of Independence was signed, home to the late Mac Miller, and of course, everybody's favorite, Punxsutawney Phil. If you don't know who that is, Groundhog's Day, Bill Murray, get on it now. Also want to talk to you about Cowboy Crickets, sustainable Montana-raised crickets. Why am I buying crickets, Mike? Thanks for asking. I'll tell you, because they're delicious. They are yummy. Not only are they yummy, but they are a sustainable source of protein. Yes, we're talking about eating bugs. Do you have to eat bugs live? No, that's gross. Why would you ask me that? Don't ever do that. These are ground up into a powder, so you have no heads or legs sticking out. Unless you want that, because they also have those smoky jumpers. Get some. Go to cowboycrickets.com and just use the promo code VETS. Victor, Echo, Tango, Sierra, VETS to save 15% on all the orders. Once again, you're supporting the show this way. And last but not least, Fireteam Whiskey, an app-based personal fitness and nutrition service geared up to help active duty and military veterans take charge of their health with a ketogenic approach to eating. You guys, this is the big discount right here. Save 40% on all training plans and coaching, as well as 15% on all keto supplements with the promo code TRANSITIONS. If you don't know how to spell that, I'm looking at you, fellow Marines. Just look at these show notes. Click it. Copy. Cut, paste. All that fun stuff. Save yourself a lot of money for some good stuff. My favorite thing coming out of Fireteam Whiskey, supplement-wise, is the Spec Ups Shake. Yummy. You can add it to water. You can throw it in with some coffee for an extra jolt. It's a good, yummy, fat-fueled way to start your day. All right, everybody. Our guest today, Shannon Yount, another devil dog, another ginger, another freckle-faced friend, as I like to call my people. Shannon's a badass. She is taking on a cycling challenge this June, and she's going to ride 100 miles all said and done, and she's doing that to raise money for kids with cancer. So we talk a little bit about the motivations for working out. We talk a little bit about why you keep going when it's tough. We also talk about why running, cycling, swimming, whatever, isn't for everybody, but how to find your own way of exercising, staying healthy. That's fun, something that you enjoy. So you like this episode? A lot of takeaways here. And with all that, let's get to it. Shannon Yount, everybody. Shannon, welcome back to the show. How you been?
I've been doing well, and yourself?
I'm pretty good. So you're on vacation this week. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out and talk. How's it been?
So we are vacationing at Jellystone Park, which is, if everybody knows Jellystone, it's where Yogi Bear and Boo Boo stay. So we've been seeing Yogi a lot, trying to steal food.
Oh, very cool. So you're up to something pretty cool this month. It's for an entire month. You are doing a cycling challenge to ride 100 miles. Is that right?
That is correct. It was the first cycling challenge I signed up for. And I was feeling daring, and I signed up for 100 miles.
How'd you come across this?
It came across my Facebook feed. I guess because like I look at other events, I've signed up in the past for 5Ks. And then all of a sudden I saw the cycling challenge, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do it because it's for a good cause. It's for raising money for cancer research for children. And it's basically fighting cancer for kids. Put in pledged for 100 miles, and my goal is to raise $500. That's the norm for a lot of people that are doing the challenge. I think it's not the minimum, but that's what everybody's goal is.
There's something about Cancer for Kids that's personal for you, or is this something that you just saw that this is a cool purpose and you wanted to be part of?
Well, it's two things. Quite a few people I know that served in the military, seeing their children go through it. You don't want to see a child suffer like that. You don't want to see a child fight for their life, basically, to feel better. To me, I don't think a child should fight for, to have cancer. And if there's any way for us to pay or support at the cause for them to find a way to help it so it doesn't happen again, pediatric cancer, I think that's one where it's a cause that needs to be supported. And it's just because I've seen a few parents that go through it.
Yeah.
Especially in this area, I've seen a couple. How it affects the children and how it affects the family. So that's there. And then if you're going to do a cause for anything, I think supporting anything that helps children is a worthy cause.
Oh, I'm 100% on board with you there. I think especially now, we're both parents, so that changes things completely in terms of you can put yourself in someone's shoes of, oh wow, I know what it's like if my kid is suffering in some small or major way, and that is the biggest fear for a parent and wanting to alleviate that suffering. So I think, both of us and other parents can relate just on that level too.
So this is the first time my goal is 100 miles. I've been cycling since February. Before that, I used to do cycling classes at my gym, but because of my schedule, my husband bought me a stationary bike. And so for 2 months, I've been averaging 70 to 80 miles. So I pledged 100 miles thinking because it's such a good cause that I'll push myself to do the extra 20.
Yeah.
So if you're going to push yourself, you might as well do it for a good cause, right?
Definitely. How's it coming along so far?
So I'm on vacation. I don't have my bike with me. And we didn't bring the bikes with us because since we're camping, we're pulling the camper. So my plan is that before we left, I did 20 miles. And we come back on Saturday, and my plan is to do 3 to 4 miles on Saturday and then like 11 miles on Sunday. It sounds like a lot, but I feel like because I've had time to relax, that I'm able to do that long distance.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then I've noticed that I'm able to do a standard like 3 to 5 miles a day. So I've done the math, and I think I'm going to be able to make it up. I know that last month I had bronchitis, and I biked twice in 10 days with bronchitis. And I think I'll be able to make it up for the time because of the vacation and everything. But it hasn't been like we haven't done anything full of activities. We've been walking a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, like catching up with kids, chasing them around. That's a workout in itself.
Yeah. Well, we went to an amusement park 2 days ago, and we walked all day, 14,000 steps. So my legs aren't getting a full rest, but it's definitely been nice. The weather's been beautiful.
Yeah, there's something too about the mental break from something repetitive like running or cycling or swimming or whatever the activity is. You come back ready. Your mind is ready to get on it. I know what it's been like when I've been out either due to finishing a race and needing some time off to let my body heal, or being sick. I know what that's like. And then, or even just going on a vacation where there's none of those activities available, and then coming back, be like, okay, I had a nice break. Now I'm ready to go in it.
Yeah. So my goal is, since I have 20 done by Sunday I should have 30. And then I have 2 weeks left. So those 2 weeks, I'm going to try and get it to where I'm doing at least 50, maybe 40.
Sounds
My goal
doable.
is to do 100, but yeah, I think it's doable. I think if I do with 30 minutes, in 30 minutes, I could do 5 miles.
One of the cool things is that there's something about this challenge that's the unknown. It's farther than you've gone before physically biking.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I really like is in my own experience and seeing other people who take on something that they're not totally sure they can do. You know, like if the challenge was ride 5 miles, it's like, easy, right? And so there's no I don't know, fear. There's no unknown or some kind of stake like that. But what was it like when you signed up for something that was a little bit beyond your comfort level?
I felt like I know I can do 70 to 80 miles a month. But I think I was like, okay, that 20 miles, I'm hesitant about it. But because it's for a cause, I'm more likely to get on the bike than if it wasn't for a cause.
Yeah.
So it's like pushing me. So I'm like, okay, it's for this. I can get on there. I can push out. And there were some days last week when I was working really long hours and I was like, oh, I don't want to get on the bike. And then I'm like, if I even get on it for 30 minutes, that puts me at like 3 to 5 miles toward my goal. I'm like, it's totally worth it. Especially if I make it to my goal, I pledged for 100 miles, then I feel accomplished. Like I met my goal and I'm supporting a good cause. And it's totally worth it if I'm staying up until midnight.
Yeah.
Because next week I start, my semester starts picking up. So even if I stay up until midnight and I bike for 30 minutes, it's worth it. To me, it is. It's a month. I've done worse where I've gone, a couple of weeks without any sleep, but it's worth it, right?
Exactly. Oh, you hit something that's pretty cool. That seems to be a powerful way of doing difficult things. Is it that cause? Or, I mean, I read about it in self-help books, and they talk about it as that pro-social motivation. So you have like external motivations, like, oh, if I, do these workout routines, then other people will notice me and they'll say, oh, well, you look great. And then there's the internal motivation of, oh, if I do this, I'll prove to myself that I can accomplish things. But then there's the level that's farther is by me doing this helps other people. And so that really ties it into the other people in some way depending or looking towards you to do something difficult. So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. I feel like since we're in the middle of the month, I feel like this is probably not going to be my last cycle challenge. I'm not going to, I don't think I'm ever going to do an Ironman.
Yeah.
I'm not a runner. Cycling, it's hard, but I like it. So I think maybe I'll probably do that more recreational. And this is my first challenge. I definitely think I'm going to do it in the future at other events. I'm liking it so far. Maybe add swimming in there, but I don't know if I'm ever going to do running. I never like running. I have short legs. I'm like one of those, hey, you're 5'3", we're going to put you in the back of the running platoon. Oh, yay.
So you're always catching up to the people. Oh, yeah, that's the worst, huh?
Yeah, they don't put the short people in the front, no.
Never.
Nope.
Yeah, I remember that. Especially in boot camp, and then those humps where the short people would be in back, and so if the line started to slinky, and we had to tighten it up, the short people in the back were just sprinting, and the looks on their face looked like just pure agony and hell. And I was maybe towards the front, not in the front, just being 6 foot. So, but I looked back and I was like, thank God I'm not that short person in the back. So I could only imagine what it's like to do that.
Yeah. No, I learned to become a very fast walker.
Yes.
Because of the hikes, and then short, choppy steps. So your feet would go like this.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
This, like long people.
Yep.
So it was pretty interesting, but I got out in 2014 and then starting to become into a routine where I'm like, okay, I like not physical therapy, but physical activities. Because when I first got out, I just don't know, I was more into my education, and then I'm slowly getting back into like, okay, you need to stay active, because if you don't, you're going to regret it. And that's where like I'm starting to learn what I like, and I like cycling. I'm still trying to get used to yoga. I think the last time we talked, I was kind of dipping my toes into yoga, and I'm still okay with it.
Yeah.
I do it more so for stretching. I don't do it for like the hot stone ones, or there's a new thing. I don't know if it's over in California yet, where they do goat yoga. I don't like the idea.
This. Huh? I've heard of this as a name. I have no idea what it is.
It's baby goats participating with you. And I've seen photos where there's people like with baby goats, and they're in like weird poses. And I'm just like, I don't like the idea of a goat like on my back or chewing on my hair. And I'm like, no.
What's wrong with you? Are you some kind of weird person where you can't do yoga, have a goat chewing on your hair? Yeah, that sounds bizarre. I have this thought too of baby goats in there. And I've been around goats enough to know that they shit everywhere. So I have to imagine this is happening while you're doing yoga, and you're like downward dogging your face into some goat shit.
Oh gosh. Nope, not doing
it. Yeah, hard pass for me too.
So, but I use yoga for stretching. I did it once last week with my cycling. But so I'm like I think everybody's trying to figure out what they like over the years. Mine is more cycling, and no baby yoga, no baby goat yoga. I'm good with that. Or if you haven't seen it yet, where people are doing yoga on the surfboards.
Oh yeah, like the stand-up paddleboard yoga.
Yeah, no, not
Yeah, I think regular, just on the ground, no animals, no surfboards involved yoga is pretty good too. I mean, there's a lot of gimmicks, and I'm sure if it's fun for people, cool, go for it. But I don't think it necessarily adds anything more to it.
Oh no, I'm good. Just call me Plain Jane. That's what I'm good.
Sometimes something works because it works, and with no frills involved. How have you started to notice what you actually like and enjoy doing, and what feels good versus maybe what like the social pressures on, what I should be doing or what everybody else is doing and they like?
Well, I think at a certain period in your life, and some people it happens younger, some people it happens older, where you don't make decisions based off of social pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're like, For me, I more so when I got out, I guess that would be where I noticed that, okay, I don't like this. I'm not going to push myself to do something I don't like. And then the big push was like, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I always wanted to be a nurse. And then I noticed that I didn't like the field as much as I thought I would. And so I got out of the nursing program, and when I went back to communication, and I really like communications. I enjoy it. I guess like the first, what validated it is I was happy to open a textbook to learn new theories on how to be better in my career.
Yeah, that's a pretty big sign right there.
Yeah, like, I don't want to bash my head up against this thing. I actually want to read it to understand the theories, to become a better person, and to be more knowledgeable in my career field. And I think that's the same with anything, really. If you don't like a certain way your house is set up, then why do you keep it? Change it. Or for anything physical activities, if you don't like swimming, why do you do it? Like, I know some people, like, they tell you, oh, no one likes running. And I'm like, then why do you do it? Oh, well, because you keep,
Yeah.
It's physical activity. It keeps you stronger and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I think you like it. You just don't want to tell anybody you like it.
Right. It's like that closet motivator. I don't like running. Yeah. I think it's like the closet motivator. Like, I don't like the Marine Corps. This sucks. This is terrible. But then you see them maybe like pressing their camis or practicing saluting in the mirror. You're like, you like this. Just admit it.
Or you can just look at the back of their truck and you can see all the stickers.
All the stickers. Yeah. Huge Semper Fidelis, like EGAs and everything. And it's funny you say that too, because there's for a lot of people, they haven't found the thing they actually enjoy doing. And I know, especially as vets, there's a lot of us, myself included, who came out with like the punishment mentality of exercise. And so I was like, well, I need to do something that I really hate. I mean, it was familiar to do something that I really hated that made me miserable, because that would build character, kind of like that pain is weakness leaving the body kind of mentality.
I was just thinking of that while you're talking.
Yeah, exactly. But then you do something like you said with like learning communications, and opening up your textbook, or cycling, or whatever it is, and you have this interesting combination of, oh, this is something that's good for me and I like it. That's a really cool thing. There's so many. It's so easy to do something physical that's enjoyable. Sometimes it just takes some creativity. Well, for cycling, for you, how did you notice that you were liking it? Was there a certain moment? Did you slog through it for a while before your body got used to it?
So the seat's never comfortable.
Yeah.
I just have to say that. Like, some people, they'll be like, oh, I cycled for like 3 weeks and the seat just got comfortable to me. And I'm like, yeah, no, no, even with the gel padding over it, and no. Cycling, and I have to say, it's enjoyable. There are challenges. There are moments where I'm like, oh my God, this sucks. But at the end, I don't dread going back to the cycling bike.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I dread running. Like, I just had to compare. If you compare running to cycling to me, if I have to be punished in some way, like, I think if I ever did an evil thing, running would be my punishment.
That's your hell. That's like, where you're sentenced, like, all right, get on this treadmill and just keep going.
Yeah, like that's, it's just, I don't like running. It hurts my joints. Like, it's hard on your joints. Like, some people are built for running. I am not built for running. Obviously, I'm 5'3", and I could just tell that when I'm running, I could feel it, like, just not be comfortable. And I've been told how to run by professional runners that were in the Marine Corps. Like, I had a gunnery sergeant. He was a marathon runner, and he coached me on how to run, and he showed me how to run, and it all sucked. And I hated every moment of it. So it's not because I don't know how to run. It's just not enjoyable. And I noticed it immediately when I went onto the bike. You do online tutorials on how to sit properly on the bike, how to hover, and then you start pedaling and stuff like that. You could tell if you enjoy it or not, because you want to do it again and you're excited about it, or you have a passion for it. And passion doesn't mean you have to buy a whole bunch of shirts and stuff like that. It's just you have an inner push for it. Like, you thrive on it, kind of like, oh, I did this, or hey, I did 11 miles today. One day I'm going to do 15. I say that now, and then you talk to me in 6 months, and maybe I've done 15 miles in one sitting.
Yeah, exactly. That, I think you nailed it too. Well, you have an intuition of what is right for you, and that's really cool, because, God, running is, well, first of all, a lot of things can go wrong running. You know, there's a lot of pressure put on your body doing it. But you're right. It's not for everyone. Swimming's not for everybody. Bodybuilding's not for everybody. I was trying to find that balance, kind of like you're saying. It's not always enjoyable, and sometimes it's hard. But especially for like weightlifting, what I remember is like getting back into the gym after I hadn't been lifting for a while. The first couple of weeks sucked because my body was trying to figure out what was happening. You're placing stress on your body, and your muscles are getting little micro tears, which is growth of muscle. Your tendons and ligaments and bones have to strengthen. So there's that little adjustment period. So it's almost like if you can see something through and try it out for, I don't know, a week and a half or 2 weeks on some regular basis, then you'd have a better, you'd have a more accurate sample size of whether you liked it or not.
Yeah.
Did you have that breaking in period for cycling?
So I do, when I was going to the gym, I would do the weightlifting. And like you, I tested both the free weights and where they have the machines for weights, right? Mm-hmm. I felt more comfortable with the machines compared to free weights, especially with the squat. And I gave myself about, just like what you said, about 2-3 weeks. I like the machine weights. Right now, I'm doing free weights with small because I want to go smaller and leaner. all information that was passed down to us in the Marine Corps, but none of us listened to it until we're out of the Marine Corps.
Oh, wait, what did they say? What was that important thing I should have known before, right?
Yeah. And then I've noticed that with weightlifting, it actually helps me with cycling.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've
in particular?
noticed, I've been working more out with my legs. And I noticed that because beforehand, when you're just doing recreational cycling, you're pushing down. And you can only push down to make you can only go so fast.
Yeah.
So I've learned that if I work out my legs on certain workouts, and you pull up, I can go a lot faster. So my goal, when I started, I can only go 60 to 70 RPMs. And now I've been averaging where it's it's a victory. Like, I'm so happy. I run around and I tell my husband, I'm like, look, I got 110. And I'm like, my little feet go like this, and it's super fast.
Yeah, that is huge. For people who don't understand cycling, the difference between 60 and 80 RPM is humongous in terms of efficiency, but just in terms of effort too. But to go from 60 to 110, that's literally almost double. But and you're right. So you're figuring out the technique of it too. That's proof that what you're doing is working out pretty well. You know, the funny story for me is, so my first half Ironman, the first long distance triathlon I did, I was training on just a regular bike with, just flat pedals, no clip-ins, no straps or anything. And I was just pushing down for the most part. I was like, I don't know how to do this, but I know that if I try hard enough and fail in many different ways, I'll eventually figure out the right way. Hopefully I just won't get hurt in the process. And then, so I'm 3 weeks out, I finally get a road bike and I have the clip-in pedals. And this is the thought that goes through my head. I wonder if there's some kind of technique to cycling. That is the thought that went through my brain. And so I typed that into YouTube, and it, shows me about all the, yes, in fact, there is, in case for people are wondering, there's a lot of technique to cycling. Yes. You don't just mash down like a kid, but you find that circular motion, and that you're right. You can't do that if you're not training your body in certain ways.
Yeah. So when I first started, one of the instructors was like, she obviously knew I was a newbie because I didn't know how to do the pedals or anything.
Yeah.
And she's like, just think of your foot going in a box method. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because I'm going in a circle. And she was like, no, think of it as a box. And when you think about it as you're going in a box, right? Well, first she was trying to do that so my mind would not think of how hard it was. Because this is when I was going at 60, 70. And she'd kick it up to 80 for 60 seconds, and then we go back to 70. But when you're thinking of it as a box, she's just telling you, to pull your muscles in a certain way and use certain muscles. If you think of it as a box, it just makes sense. And you know what muscles you never use, because when you get off the bike and you're like, oh, I need to work on that muscle. Because obviously when I'm pulling it a certain way, I've never used it until I started pulling my leg up like a box. Is when you're on the bottom of the box, you push it, and when you're on the top of the box, you pull it.
Yeah.
And that's how she explained it to me. And it never dawned on me that you can pull your legs up when you're cycling until I started cycling more often than just frequently when I went on my schedule.
Well, some of it requires actually doing it and feeling it in your body. That's the cool thing about yoga that I've learned, is just understanding how my body works and how some things are tense, or how some things have limited range of motion, or balance is harder this way than that way. It just gives me a better sense rather than what I think it should be like. You feel it.
I like yoga. I like the stretching yoga just because you can stretch out very well, especially after cycling or any recreational activity.
Oh yeah.
And I found, and I don't know if you do it as well, but when I'm at the office for a while, and you're sitting for a long period of time, there's 5-minute YouTube tutorials on desk yoga.
Yes, I've done a couple of those. Those are cool.
When you stretch out your neck, and then you do weird poses, and you hope no one walks by at the odd moment.
Yep.
But if you do that, the 5-minute desk yoga, it actually gives your mind a break as well. And I really like that, because when I just finish a project or something, I do the 5-minute yoga, and I'm ready to go on my next task or my next project. And it kind of gives yourself a break, a mental break. So I really like that. I'm starting to like yoga, and I'm trying to fit it into my daily schedule. What favorite desk yoga? Do you use it just to do a break, or is it because you're like trying to keep your body stretched out pretty well?
I think my default thing, if I'm bored or I need a break, is stretching. I like a lot of the lower back stretches, like that figure four. So I'll put my ankle above my knee and then go into a sitting position and stretch, my piriformis out.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll just, stretch my shoulders back. I don't know. I'm the guy too. He'll be standing around, and either it's at the park with my kids, and all of a sudden I'm doing a tree pose just to balance. It's a lot of things. I never really plan it out, but I noticed that the more I'm working out, the more stretching is needed. It's yoga and just stretching in general has kept me from a lot of injuries. I've seen a lot of people who haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a limited range of motion, you're going to have bad form eventually. Repetitive motion, you're going to get hurt. I think,
Yeah.
well, I guess since we're talking about yoga, what do you think puts people off the most about it? You think it's
The awkward
the vibes of it? Yeah, the awkward positions, maybe the name.
Yeah. I think it's the awkward position. I think because it's not, you don't go in those positions out in public on a daily basis. You're out of your element. People don't like being out of their element. And, you're cautious, even if you're not an individual who cares what others think. You're like, okay, I don't want anybody to see me in a vulnerable position. And I think that's what people that's more of a barrier for people. And if they just kind of start with maybe the dim light setting, and they get into the positions and they work their way, I think it'll be better for them.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be more likely to try it out. Or you could just do it at home where no one sees you. And
excellent strategy. Yeah, exactly. You can fall over, you can do things wrong, and you figure it out on your own. You don't have to worry about a whole class looking at you. For cycling, for physical challenges, or just getting back into shape or doing something physical you enjoy, what would you say for people who are looking at starting something? One, how to find something they want to do, and how to know when they actually like it, versus maybe if they start out something and it's difficult. So they might be getting signals from their body that this is hard. That initial adjustment period.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is that they need to try it.
That's key. Sounds so easy, right? Kind of like, okay, right. First thing, make sure the computer's on, and you're like, no shit. Oh wait, I didn't do that.
Yeah, no, be adventurous every month. Some people, I know one lady on the YouTube or something like Facebook, she challenged herself to complete a lot of her fears. And it was 100 fears, and she did all of them. What makes it fearful? Why don't you want to try it? Look into it, and then, okay, you don't have to climb Mount Everest. Obviously, it's fully crowded right now, but you can, do small hikes in the area. See if you like hiking. If you like just cycling around the park, maybe biking is for you. If you like just hanging out at the swimming pool, try a few laps. You don't have to fully commit to something. You can always try it out for a few weeks and then determine if you like it or not. Your body's going to tell you.
That's huge. I am thinking specifically for me of swimming. I was given the no balls challenge of you should do the swimming challenge. And I didn't want to do it, but I thought I didn't want to lose face, of course. But eventually I discovered I liked it. I never would have thought I would have liked swimming, but had I not tried it, I never would have known that. So, and that's the thing. You don't have to be an expert at something. You don't have to make it your life's work. It can be something you try out and discover, okay, yeah, I don't like that, but now I know. Or it's something that you can say, oh, I enjoy doing this, but I just enjoy doing it recreationally, and I don't want to become the world's best cyclist, marathon runner or whatever. It can just be something you do kind of for fun as a break from your main stuff.
Yep. So I do Zumba. I haven't done it in a couple of months just because it hasn't worked out with my schedule. But when I first did Zumba, I was in the Marine Corps, and I was very shy because it's choreography. I
Right, it's
don't
like
do well
dancing
with
kind of.
like, yeah, you have to know the steps. You have to know how to count. I do not know how to count music.
Yeah.
So, but I liked it. The first 3 to 4 classes were very painful for me, but I wanted to see if I liked it. So I gave myself a few more tries, and then I soon figured out how to like count music without counting music. I know that doesn't make sense, but I kind of remember, okay, if we do this, just follow her, and then it's repetition. But even if you're not good at it, but you enjoy it, why stop? That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
I
Not
still
needing
sing
to
in the
be an
car.
expert at everything.
Yeah, nobody needs to be an expert. You just have to enjoy life.
Yeah, I think that's harder to do for people who are experts in a specific thing, because that's their bar of success. And then maybe just unconsciously that becomes, oh, well, if I'm this good at the thing I'm doing, I have to be this good at everything else. And it's one of those just kind of unchecked thoughts that's never really challenged.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has to be an expert at everything. And then even if you fail, it makes you a better person.
Oh, exactly. That's the thing. The people who seem to be doing a lot of cool stuff in the world are people who have been okay with trying something, being embarrassed, even failing miserably a lot of times, and saying, okay, well, I had the courage to do it and try something else. So can people support you in this cycling challenge?
They sure can. There is a link that you can go on my Facebook page, and I'll share it with you. Just click to support, and then you can make a donation. It could be $5, or there's other amounts that you can put in. They periodically through the month they're doing specials. Yesterday was we'll match your donation. So I had a few donations were made on my account. It ends on the last day of June, and then we'll find out what the tally is, because sometimes it takes a little bit for it to go through. And if you just want to look up riders to see how many are in your area, you can always go to Cycle Challenge or Challenge for the Cycle or something like that. And you can just look up to see if there's anybody in your area. And there are cycle rides. You can just hop in and join. They have groups. They have every day there's a story about a child that benefited from the program, where proceeds went to their either cancer research or cancer treatment. It's really interesting if you just go on the website and you can see, it tells you how many children are diagnosed with cancer, how many pass away from cancer, how many survived or go in complete remission for it. Sometimes you hear the stories and it's heartbreaking, and other times you're happy that you're supporting a cause because you know the proceeds are going to saving children's lives.
If someone wanted to sign up too and do what you're doing, would they have to set like a minimum amount of miles? Do they have to do 100 miles? Can they do less?
They could do less. I just wanted to set up 100 because it's a challenge for me.
Because you're a Marine, by God, you got to push the envelope.
Just a little bit, not too much. Yeah, so normally it's 70 to 80. And I said, okay, I'm going to push myself. It's for a cause. And I think it's going to push me to meet my goal. And I'm hoping that I meet that 100-mile goal.
You know what I like, because I relate to this on such a deep level with you, is that you're doing something that benefits other people, but it's not an activity that's completely miserable. Like, it's not picking up cigarette butts in the quad. It's not digging ditches. You're doing something that you enjoy doing and applying that towards a pro-social cause to help other people. So that cross section right there, I think that's the bread and butter. That's the sweet spot.
And I think that's why I'm going to do it in the future for other events.
I love it.
It's enjoyable.
So we'll put up the links of how people can donate to your fundraising campaign, and we'll check back in with you later too, probably over Facebook and Instagram and everything else, to see how you're progressing on this. Then we'll talk afterwards, after you've done this and after you sign up probably for some more challenges, to see what your progression in the sport is. So any words of wisdom or anything you want to say before we sign off?
Would love for people to donate to the cause. If you're interested in what it does, and if you want a bike, you can still sign up, I think. For me personally, if you want to do something, just do it. There's no reason why no one can do something that they want to do. Even if it's a challenge, do little small steps, and then soon enough you'll reach your goals and then make more goals.
I like that. Yeah. It's plain, simple, but something that people don't think about a lot. So you're seeing the possibility, you're seeing the opportunities in life. That's really cool. Shannon, good to have you back on here, and enjoy the rest of your vacation. I'm excited to see how this turns out for you. So
Me too.
all right, Maureen, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. That's it for this week, you guys. Thanks again to Shannon for coming on the show. Thanks to you all for listening, and thanks to our sponsors. Please support them, support our show. Other than that, everyone, have a great week. We'll see you back here next time. We've got a really cool episode coming up too. Cliffhanger. All right, everyone. Until then, drink water, meditate, kill bodies.
One of you.